I was stealing from a bitch back when I was 21. My favorite gun was a SIG. 20 in the clip, hit one.
Welcome back to the Pop of the Man podcast. I'm your host, Jay. With me today, I have my always loyal co-host, Cord. What's up, Cord?
How you been? Keep that 40 on me like I'm Zubak. It's a plot twist coming.
we got DeLon with us today. What's up, DeLon?
Assalamu alaikum, brother Jordan.
We got Cam with us. What's up, Cam?
Man, y'all already know what it is. Suns Nation.
Jaquez joining us today. What's up, Jaquez?
What it do, man? What it do?
And we got special guests. We got Tabors. We had Tabors on in a hot minute. What's up, Tabors?
What's up, guys? Tabors Technology here from Problematic Posse. How y'all doing?
From Problematic Posse. Love to see you. And you know what we do. We give our takes on basketball, music, everything in between. This is episode 97 of the Pop of the Man podcast. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, such and such, know that you can search this podcast episode and this title on YouTube and watch it on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video, leave us comments, maybe questions you might have, and if you leave us a good question, we'll answer it on the next podcast episode, or even turn it into an entire topic. So subscribe, like, leave us comments. Only other announcement we have is Cord has found a way to play sound effects. So throughout this episode, as you heard a few seconds ago, Cord will be playing sound effects. So be prepared for that. So starting with the first topic of the day.
Wait. We had a Jaquez announcement.
Wait, what was I announcing?
Jaquez's brother is asleep back there. So if y'all see,
Oh, yeah, a young man.
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
see a nigga turn over. It's Hey man, you know what? I know Jordan tired of this move to YouTube because every time we keep making moves, Jordan got to make his intro longer. He's got.
I see it,
man.
But yeah. So make note of that. Also, as well as I think it was another announcement I had to make. Damn, what else I had to say?
The website.
Oh yeah. We got a website, popofthemanpod.com. Make sure you check
Don't forget the
website. Cannot forget the website. But it was something else important I had to say, but it left me that fast when you said Jaquez.
Follow Problematic Posse on Twitter.
Follow Problematic Posse on Twitter, but that was not it either.
Watch last week's Popular Man Movies episode.
That's what I was going to say. So yes, we had our very first Popular Man movie episode, led by DeLon.
It was a movie. We made a movie.
No, they didn't make a movie. They talked about movies.
Made a movie.
They talked about movies. No, a nigga on Twitter, shout out to him. A nigga on Twitter said, "Hold on, y'all making movies now?" And I was like, "Nah, fam, we ain't that talented. We just talking about movies."
Hey man,
I think we could make a movie.
About what?
We can make a short film on a $50 budget.
Ain't it?
And next episode, we'll be reviewing The Lobster and also Fall from Grace by Tyler Perry. So,
y'all watch Tyler Perry movies? Why y'all doing this to yourselves?
We're gonna do a good movie.
It's gonna be entertaining.
We're gonna do a bad movie every episode.
No. I have done a lot of things this week for entertainment, man. I listened to the Baby album and watched the Tyler Perry movie. I have done too much. I deserve a max contract.
We'll talk about it, Cord. So starting with the first topic of the day is actually we're gonna talk about DaBaby's brand new album, Blame It On Baby, which was met with mostly negative reviews on Twitter, with people posting clips from the album showing that DaBaby finally switched the flow up, and it sounded pretty bad from the production standpoint and also from the singing and harmonizing that he was trying to do on the songs. It was pretty bad. But so I'm gonna ask y'all this. What did y'all think about DaBaby's change in direction on this album? Since we've been asking for this, were y'all mostly upset with the change? Y'all feel like he tried to go in the right direction?
All I'm gonna say is you can't please niggas. You just gotta
no,
Drake said,
you can.
Nah, you can't. There's always gonna be somebody mad about something. There's always gonna be somebody mad about something. No matter what you do. So as long as he likes the music, then that's all that should matter. If his fans like it,
man.
like it.
I think his problem is he like another Carolina rapper who don't like to use features, and he just tried to carry the track, the chorus, and then
that's like the most features I've ever seen from one of his albums. Actually, he had
a lot of features on this one.
He had a lot of features. It really
didn't make a difference.
I see what you're saying. He should have had his features doing the hooks.
Yeah, that's
him doing the hooks himself because him doing the hooks led him to do all the singing. But the thing is, like, we've been wanting him to switch it up, So I guess it's good. He's trying to use melodies, be a little bit more melodic. Like there's one song on the album called "Find My Way." No, "Find My Way." No, Sad shit is bad. That's the
horrible.
That's the song. It's the verses is cool. It's just that when he's like singing and then he started talking to her, he uses, they use that voice like you just rolled over at a bed and your girl called you. He started using that voice in between the singing to himself. I'm like, no, he's doing too much. Then he just like the like he's trying to harmonize like how Future be doing on his wrong song. Right. He did all that shit on the court. He sings, he then talks, and then he tries to harmonize like Future all in the same hook. It's just too much. It was just too much new shit going on in that.
I know song. My ex miss me. I miss her too.
I definitely got the wrong song.
I miss her too though on the real though. I do miss her. I low key be missing her though.
Is that not sad shit?
I dropped her, but I be missing her though. I be at the crib sad, man. I be depressed right now.
Yeah, that's sad shit. I Find My Way.
No, yeah. But Find My Way is a song I'm talking about where he actually did a very good job.
Okay, melodic.
All right. Yeah, he actually sad shit with the word. He's trying to harmonize it.
And then the very next song, Find My Way, where he's actually being melodic. And actually, it's like his flow isn't even the same like it normally is. That song is good. That's a good song in a different direction. And he probably switches it up maybe 4 times the entire 13 songs of the album with sad shit, which the verses are fine. It's just the hook is terrible. Find My Way is actually good, and it's like 2 other occasions where he changes it up. But for the most part, this is the typical Baby. Corey, how'd you feel about his change in direction?
And I'm gonna say this: I didn't want to hear the album to begin with because when I woke up the other day and they said, "Oh, the Baby dropped an album," I said, "Oh, he rushing this." Yeah. So then when y'all tell me, "Oh, he switched the flow up," I said, "This is about to be terrible." Because I'm gonna say this: Russian music is already a bad process, but it's not that bad when you got one particular sound that people love. But when you want to rush and do something new, all you gonna do is fail. That's all that's gonna happen. So to me, I'm gonna say that I don't think you're a bad artist or nothing like that. I just think that if you're trying to start flows, different styles, this, that, and the third, you should do those on guest features and then ease into a project. But when you just wake up, run to the studio, coronavirus, this, that, and the third, I ain't got no free time. Let me make an album real quick. It's gonna do big numbers, get 50 features, this, that, and the third. It's gonna be a bad project. And so I'm gonna say it's not his fault, but it is his fault.
It's so ironic that we're talking about rushing music. In last episode, we talked about how labels take forever to release.
It's a difference though for that.
This is my thing. 3 years, 6 months.
The Baby put out 3 projects in the last 2 years.
Exactly. Like he been coming. I'm gonna say this. When I say 3 years is a long time, but 2 years, 1 year, and some change, that's time. But when you what did he drop this album like? He dropped it last a couple months ago.
September.
Yeah.
He got Baby on Baby last year. Then
so
he dropped
you coming out
that other shit like in September, yeah.
But if it's coronavirus, is he rushing? If he has just more time to sit with the music, it might not be that he's rushing the music. Because let's look at it as a normal rapper schedule, especially with the Babies last year. He was touring all day. He ran to the studio. Blah blah.
Yeah.
He made some TikTok videos with his child. Now I'm assuming he's been inside more. I don't think he's rushing. I think it was just bad. And we gotta. Sometimes we can't make excuses. Maybe it was just bad. He tried.
You're right.
He saw Twitter. He heard everybody's comments about you make the same song. He ignored the ones about you have the same flow. So instead of making a different flow, he used the same flow but put a bunch of different sounding beats because he saw
different melodies.
But he still had Jason made another on there, so he gotta get rid of that nigga. He definitely made another. Gotta go.
He put the same flow on extremely different beats, and it did not match up.
No,
that was that problem for a lot of
that nigga Jesse does not need to make another one.
Please.
That nigga got down to the tuck.
And the crazy thing, the title track is like the biggest example of that, DeLon. Blame It on Baby, where the beat changes like just randomly. The beat drop. This is one of the worst beat drops I ever heard. One of the beat don't drop. The beat don't even drop. It just changes.
It's kind of.
It's like
a lot of people were making fun of like the Digimon sounding beats. I didn't have a problem with most of the beats. I had a problem with that nigga on the beats. If he would have changed his flow at all or adjusted to the beats, I wouldn't have had a problem.
No. This what killed me. He hop on them, man. They told me this. They asked me why I changed that beat. I switched the flow up. You have not switched the flow up once. What are you talking about?
I swear to God.
Literally, nobody complained about that. Nobody asked.
Bro, he went from Digimon to Pokemon to a Yu-Gi-Oh beat. The flow ain't changed not one time. Just the beat.
We disrespecting these GOAT animes y'all making fun of right now.
No,
I like the beat.
It's just the flow. He's just been switching. He
talked through the beat change. You don't talk through the beat change.
The flow up.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna say it because it like he talking to me saying like, yeah, man, I switched the flow, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, when is it coming? Wait, the track over with? Okay, I'm gonna start it off. Make sure I ain't miss nothing. Oh, it's like night.
But you know, a good thing for him though. A good thing for him, like if he ever has like white people at his concert and like they cut out the beat and they're just clapping along and they get off beat, he can just rap through it, and that's what it feels like. Exactly. This entire album, like it went.
Yeah.
Like y'all know how white people do when they clap in unison. And he just rap straight through it.
Maybe
it's impressive, honestly.
Maybe the baby just don't know what the word flow means in rap. Maybe we need to be under it as maybe we can start to assume that maybe he don't understand what flow is. Because the fact is he always talks about
what flow is.
I don't know, because like every time he talks about, I'm talking about switching the flow up, he just never does.
He just gets louder.
He don't.
Yeah, he's loud.
he speeded it up just a little bit.
I did like the song with Shanti though. It was pretty good though. That was about the music. That was
I ain't gonna stunt. That song had a lot going on. I don't know how.
I mean, it did.
Right now.
It did.
I like it though.
Musicality showing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And the small things he does. I'm tired of him punching in every single line. Like you literally can hear him being like, drop a line, all right, and then drops another line, all right, run that back.
Yeah.
Every fucking line of the song. And some people can work that out. He can't. Like I know we don't like him. I know we don't love his albums. Eminem does it very well. To where he punches in, you kind of don't hear it a lot. The baby, you can hear every.
You right.
Line.
You right.
Every single line.
Question. The real question. The real catalyst is this a good album? Does it bump in the whip? Yes or no?
No. There's none of this shit slaps. Find my way.
No, I would say none. I'll say 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
I give it 2. I give it like 2. Probably.
I was 2 out of 13.
There's definitely no hits on this album.
Let's do the car. That's what I'm saying.
There's definitely no hits. Maybe a couple of slaps. But
I say 2 out of 13 are good. About 7, 8 are meh. Shout out to Playboi Carti. And then 2 or 3 of them hoes, I wish he would never have made. Never have it.
So I'm gonna tell you
this. Hit, a slap, a banger, no nothing.
The crazy thing is,
no
I only feel like the baby went out of his way and did something different on maybe 3, maybe 4 songs. But overall, I feel like he rapped like he always did. Had the same boom, 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 boom type production he does on every song. So I feel like it was a typical baby album with him just switching it up on 3 songs. It's just when he switched it up, it was just a train wreck. In all honesty, but other than that, it was cool. It was cool for the baby project. I enjoyed the features. Like I thought feature was really good. I thought Quavo's feature was,
true that.
That's the best rap. No,
forget somebody.
Not gonna lie.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah, forget somebody.
Oh, Young Thug, any on the album?
Yeah, no,
you forget somebody.
You true.
Someone else who's also young.
Meg.
A young boy.
Oh, NBA Young Boy.
That song is ass.
Hey, I like that verse though.
I'm glad you do, but no. I completely forgot he was even on the album. But what did y'all like about the album?
I enjoyed the features. Hate in y'all heart. I like the cover art.
Do you though?
Why you got a mask on?
Do you like the cover art? I don't think you like the cover art. That's the thing.
What's the point of the mask?
That's all I got. It's the mask,
like the do-rag cord.
Letting us know exactly the do-rag and the mask.
Corey like his tattoos.
Do-rag and the mask.
What exactly do you?
You know what? It's a sleeveless bubble jacket. That's what it is.
Man, see, he trying to tell us. He got the sleeveless bubble coat on like D-Ray. He got the do-rag on the chain. He letting us know he's standing with the black community in this time of need.
What
That's what he letting us know. He telling us to stay cool.
Nigga said first thing they nigga said, we about to make a movie. Yeah, let's make a movie, guys. Now they talking about they like men, which man, hey, I'm gonna let y'all have this one today. I'm gonna let y'all have it.
It's not your type of podcast, huh?
It ain't my type of podcast.
All right then, guys. Shout out to the baby. Please go back to the studio, but take your time if that was a problem. Continue.
Don't make the project till 2021.
Most importantly, we don't need you until 2021. Just take a little hiatus, but most importantly, he needs to continue trying to be out his comfort zone, because I don't think the answer is going back and making the same music he did before. Like, I don't think that's the answer. He needs to find that happy balance like he did on Find My Way and get some better producers. That's what he got to do.
I think one day we're going to have, well, not one day, I hate when niggas say that. Next week we need to have a conversation about how DaBaby and Meg Thee Stallion were the biggest rappers for a year just by releasing nothing but mid projects.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Superstar status. But moving on to the next topic. Look at this dapper young man. Moving on to the next topic. I'll talk to you guys about Jalen Green. Jalen Green is projected #1 overall draft pick in the 2021 NBA draft. And instead of going to the NCAA like most #1 overall draft picks they're projected to go #1, he decided to go straight to the G League. The G League is also offering to pay all of his college if he ever decides to go back. Is this a major power move by the G League? Do y'all think the G League is about to get some major exposure by having a potential #1 overall draft pick playing for them? What do you guys think about this move?
Hey, man, first off, the first person I want to thank that there ain't nobody giving no clap to LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball got all these niggas moving real different. So shouts out to LeVar. That's first things first. But yeah, this is a power move for the NBA. I want to see how he thrives, because wouldn't that be? I still don't understand the whole aspect. So he's gonna do like a year in the G League with the team, and then get drafted by another team. Is that how that's gonna work?
I think like I said, you only need to do like 1 year removed from college in order to go to the NBA draft. So from my understanding, he's going to spend a year in the G League, and then he's going to enter the NBA draft from there. So like,
so that team doesn't have any rights to him.
No. Just because you might play for like the Clippers G League team, the Clippers technically don't own your rights.
Okay. That's why I was wondering how it was going to work, because it didn't say that he was going to the G League. It said he was going to be in a 1 year developmental program. So I'm assuming he's just going to be playing G League games, but not going to be in the G. I don't know. I don't know how this.
But see, like for instance, like Clippers have a G League team. Right. 2 to 3 of them players might be rookies from the Clippers. Everybody else there are players who participate in the G League, like players who didn't get drafted, players who did get drafted but end up getting dropped and haven't picked up a new contract by an NBA team. There's a bunch of different so there's a bunch of different guys on the team. Like the team on that roster, you got your normal 15 players in the roster, you got your two rookies who go down to the G League or whatever. Everybody else on that team are players who have signed contracts with the G League. Basically, he is signing a contract to play with the G League, but he's not signing a contract to play with an NBA team.
Because you're not allowed to play for an NBA team unless you've entered yourself into the draft. So you have to go through the draft process to then sign. Which, in order to go through the draft process, he has to spend a year out. So he's going to spend a year playing G League on a G League contract, like just all those other like 30, 40-year-old people, not 30, 40, but yeah, around 30-year-old basketball players and like guys who might have went undrafted. And then next year he'll enter the NBA draft portal and then be drafted by an actual NBA team.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, it's a good move for him. Then he's like the #1, and this is what we really needed, because like LaMelo Ball last year, he kind of didn't have a choice but to go pro. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't really know for him to play in college. But the fact that Jalen Green, who's the #1 player in the world, in the nation, the world basically, decided, hey, you know what? Forget college. I'm going to go straight to the league and make this money, and I'm still going to be able to go to school, so I'm not missing out on college life like everybody's going to say I am. It's a great medium, and I think that this is going to become a trend now. I think also John told me that another player who's like ranked in the top 20, who's a McDonald's All-American, Isaiah Todd, he's doing the same thing.
Yes, I remember.
He's
John
going to the G League as well. He decommitted from Michigan, so it's big moves.
Is the question now is, are these players going to get the same level of coaching and competition in the G League that they will be getting at top tier colleges?
Now that's actually a fair
I don't
question.
know about coaching, but the competition is probably going to be better because the players in G League aren't the, you know what I'm saying, some college teams are going to be scrubs. If you made it to the G League, that means you're at least, you're better than most, but you're not.
I call it semi-pro.
To the league.
I call it semi-pro.
Yeah, I mean, not even semi-pro because they're better than players who are probably overseas. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they
haven't made
the league.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, they're going so instead of competing against like 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are still like developing their game, you're going to be competing against like 27, 26 players 26-year-olds who have actually been in the NBA, competed maybe for roster spots, but just weren't the 15th man. But they would definitely be good enough to be like the best player
on a college team.
Yeah,
because they probably were the best player on their college team.
Yeah, but they just weren't good enough to be on a 15-man roster. So the level of competition is you'll be competing against like grown men. Like instead of like Jalen lining up against like people his age around his size, you're gonna be lined up against fully developed men. Kind of like what LaMelo Ball was doing in Lithuania when he was playing against grown men. That's what Jalen. That's the kind of competition he's gonna be facing. So yeah, I think the level of competition will be at a higher level. But that's a good point about coaching. I'm not familiar with many G League coaches to say that they will be, but I'll say this, they'll be more acclimated to the NBA style because, in college, there's no space and there's no pace and space.
Right.
It's crowded paints. No, you don't really run pick and roll in NCAA, but in G League, you can end up start learning NBA offenses a year early, and you start working on your game and actually working towards making your game tailored to the NBA rather than playing a certain way for NCAA and then playing a completely different way when you get to the NBA. Kind of like Cam Reddish.
Question: what do you guys think his numbers should look like for him to? Because right now he's probably the projected number one pick, and he is really, really good. So what do you guys think his numbers should look like for him to? For teams to still want to, make him the number one pick or take him as the number one pick?
That's actually a really good question. Because G League numbers are inflated, man. Like there's like a guy on the Clippers G League team that averaged like 30 in the G League. Like niggas be like that's kind of normal down there. So I don't know what's a good measure for what kind of numbers he should be putting up as a 18, 19-year-old in this league.
Because he might not even be the man on that team. Like you said, if he goes to the Clippers G League team, there's already somebody averaging 30. I wouldn't take the ball out of that person who's averaging 30 for somebody who's probably going to be here a year then gone.
And that's a good point.
That's the benefit of going to the G League because if you're in the NCAA, you don't have access to those coaches. If you're on the Spurs G League team and they know that there's already a system there, they can look. The organization can look at you in practice. They can look at you. They know why you're not that guy. So it's not like they see you down there at Mississippi State. They just see you not shining. They don't understand the thing. Like you have access to coaches. You have access to personnel. Pop can come down at any moment, talk to him. It's just a different access that he has.
It's a direct line, more so to speak. Because a lot of times, the schools got, a lot of times the NBA have to call these schools and say, hey, so can you tell me somebody's player? Instead, they can just go to the player, and they can just see what's going on.
So what you think, like 15, 5, and 2?
I think that's maybe up to 20, 15. It depends. Like it really depends. Because I don't know, just because he's signing with a team, he's projected to be the number one overall draft pick. I don't necessarily know if he'll automatically start.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, like his role and things like that.
Yeah, I don't even know if we can assume that. So that's why going to the G League first is a risky bet because you could potentially end up signing with a team that just might happen to have players that are better than you at the moment. So there's no incentive for the G League team to actually play.
Put you out there. Exactly.
Well, the biggest reason I feel like a G League team will be more willing is because these players are top tier high school prospects. So like people are gonna tune in to want to see that person. Like he's the number one player in the country, and not only is he like really good, supposedly. I mean, I honestly haven't.
He's. I've been watching him since his sophomore year. He's good.
Not only is he good, but also like he's the first player to do this. So we might actually see G League games like coming on ESPN now.
Oh yes, sir.
So, because, I mean, people want to see this. And, like, people are like, how can this kid really compete against grown men?
So, I saw Woj on ESPN. I think it was Woj. Say, like, Zion wouldn't be Zion without Duke or without going to college. And I was like, I mean, like, I tweeted, like, imagine if Zion had access to a substantially more expensive medical staff and facility. didn't have to worry about Algebra 2 while trying to train for basketball, had access to all these coaches and all these trainers, and can actually meet up with some NBA legend to work out with. That's just a very different thing. Like, might not have had the hype coming in. He might be a healthier. He wouldn't have missed the season. He wouldn't have missed half the season, definitely. So that's just these things you gotta think about.
What did Zion learn at Duke that he didn't already know?
Nothing. He just got hype. That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, he got hype.
I think he learned how to play. I think he learned more how to play in the system at Duke because the other.
Because Coach K isn't just letting him out there. He was actually, you know what I'm saying. Coach K let him handle the ball. He let him push in the fast. Like, he let him do a lot of things. Like, he learned something. I wouldn't say he just didn't learn anything.
I'm saying, like,
some players are just so great that
he wasn't getting the most shot attempts on the team either.
Exactly. Like how like Joel Embiid, like, you know how Mero said when Mero's like nobody good comes from Kansas, and then you're like, well, Joel Embiid, and he's like, well, Joel Embiid would have been Joel Embiid anywhere. So it's kind of the same logic applies to, you know what I'm saying, applies to every, like, if some players are just on another level than the rest of the competition.
Well, I say, like, if I'm saying, like, I feel like Zion could have learned those same lessons, like playing in the G League.
Exactly.
That's why I phrased it wrong. He definitely did learn things at the collegiate level, but those are things you could definitely learn in the G League as well, like responsibility, moving the ball, sharing it, and not being.
Wouldn't have to relearn how to walk.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, he probably got injured.
He's still.
Well, I mean, but that being said, that's the kind of thing that they would have cared about. Whereas college systems, like, we need you for 1 year.
Yeah, we need you on the court. Yeah,
that's true. They were trying to get him back on the court again.
They are trying to, if not trying to develop you for like their season, they're trying to develop you for their job because they want to be that G League coach that takes this guy to the next level. They want to be that guy.
Right. The most underrated aspect of all this is the fact that Jalen Green said the G League will pay for his school if he wants to, you know, whenever he's ready to go back.
And I think it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said that's pretty dope. That's all.
Yeah, and I was saying I saw that they said they were gonna pay like up to $125,000 a semester, and I was like, what does it cost that much to go to school?
Anywhere.
If you want to go to like an Ivy League, it's just like wherever you want to go. Like, he probably wouldn't use all that, but it's just where if he wants to go to like the greatest school ever, you know what I'm saying? He can't do that.
You know why NCAA can snatch your scholarship? Snatch the scholarship right out your hands.
Yeah, the G League, they signed a contract, so they're going to do that.
That's crazy.
So it is crazy.
0 NCAA. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy for that because fuck the NCAA.
Would y'all like to see this become a trend? Just a question.
Yeah.
I just don't want players to hurt their career doing it. I don't want players who like the 30th best player in the nation doing this shit. Like, I want like the legit guys who
possibly could have been at one.
Who got a real chance of being really, really good. I want those guys.
Or guys who could have probably went straight to the league, but the only reason why they're not is because of the rule. Which I think they're going to eventually change that rule anyway. So we're going to start seeing. We could probably start seeing this a lot more with even if a guy feels like I think I'm ready for the league, but I'm just gonna spend 1 year in the G League just to make sure, and then he's gonna ball out and then go there.
But technically, but you can't go. They can't go back to college. So like if they're not that guy, it's still always that risk because you could go to college and do just decently well, like Anthony Edwards. He averaged like 19 points this year. He's gonna be the number 1 pick, and that his team was losing and shit. But if he had did that but he shot a pretty bad field goal percentage. If he did that in the G League, he might not still get as much. You know, so the team might not be the number 1 pick.
He would get the benefit of the doubt. So
exactly.
Yeah,
but I'd like to see it become a trend because the more this becomes a trend, even if for the first year, a lot of people do make stupid mistakes and go, they're not probably ready to. NCAA is going to look at this and they're going to change some shit with them. So the more this changes over here, the NCAA, knowing they're hemorrhaging players, they might make some moves as well.
They're going to have to start accommodating players. Like, they're going to have to start thinking with the players in mind rather than thinking with themselves in mind. Because they'll realize that's power to the players.
Because right now, I literally do not see a con if you're a top 5 pick to go to college rather than the G League.
Other than if
they're promising that stuff.
Other than if you just aren't that nice and you just happen to be projected top 5, you probably shouldn't be. But other than that, yes. But all the time,
or if you just want to play for that school, like you've always dreamed of playing for, you want to see
collegiate experience right away. You want that. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. I want to talk to you guys about another album that released on Thursday night, Friday morning, and that is "Pray for Paris" by Westside Gunn. Westside Gunn's a rapper from Griselda. This album had around 11, 12 songs on it. It opposite to the Baby's album, which was met with majority negative reviews, Westside Gunn album was met with mostly positive reviews, showing features from Joey Badass, Tyler the Creator. You had guys like Rock Marciano, Freddie Gibbs, Benny the Butcher, and Conway. It was a pretty good album. Wale as well. Can't forget Wale. From my perspective, this is probably the most fun I had listening to a Westside Gunn album, from the features to even his own rapping. Feel like it took a gear. Also, shout out to Jay Versace, who is now a producer and actually produced. Huh?
Hey, you better put some respect on that nigga name now. You better put some respect on that nigga name.
Wait, what's the boys calling him?
He said Divine nigga.
Yeah, Divine. Yeah.
Hey,
it sounded like Divine nigga.
I was like,
but it's Divine nigga.
I was
He's real sus today. I see.
Man,
Like I said, in my type podcast.
But yes, it's the Divine guy. He produced like 3 beats on that song, on the album. I think he did did he do the 327 beat?
That's crazy.
I think he did. I know he did the Versace beat. Hence why his name Versace.
Yeah.
He did
about the Jay Versace, the guy.
Yes.
Thank you, Versace, for following the podcast page.
Yeah, he did.
Had LaBelle wigs, the skits. Yeah, it's him.
That guy. That guy.
I'm amazed.
We all are. We all are.
Man, it's the boys. You like that?
Come on, man.
I always say you like that beat. You like that beat?
Yeah, I like the beat. I like the beat.
Everyone like the beat.
We taking credit for him becoming a great producer because he wasn't doing this before he followed the podcast page. So
he followed the podcast page, and a week later he became a great producer. So shout out to us. But question, guys, how do you guys feel about the album yourselves? Like I said, this is about the most fun I had listened to a Westside Gunn album. I think this potentially could be his best work yet. What do you guys like about this album? What he did here?
Well, I guess I gotta what's the word? I guess I gotta contradict myself because he also dropped this album not too long after he, not too long after Hitler Wears Hermes. But let me tell you, it sounded like he took his time with this album. Now, this album is great from beginning to end. No skips, no fast forwards, nothing. Let me tell you, every song, I love it. Every feature, I love it. Nobody folded. Nobody disappointed me. This is a great album. And I want to hear it again and again and again. And I want to hear more.
It's very...
What's like, I'm going to say, man, he just got like one of the personalities he can't miss.
I don't know nobody can't miss. But this is one of his most...
He can't miss, man. Hey.
I'm going to say, generally, I think critically, and it's like in terms of like at least the Twitter sphere, they generally love all of Westside Gunn's albums. I'm more like, I'm like, this is cool. I generally don't like his rapping all that much. I don't hate is a strong word for his voice. His voice is cool. I'll get used to it now.
It's the voice. I'm gonna say I kind of like it though.
It's very unique. Very
Corey, you sound like Days Loaf mixed with Action Bronson to me. To me.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this. That's why I like his music because I'm gonna say that he has like I don't want to say a cartoonish voice, but he got like a theatrical feel to it. So when he come through saying the lines that he say, it sound crazy. It was like, "Oh, grandma, please let me put the triple beam up." It's like, man, that sound like because the voice is so light, it just sound crazy.
Dramatic.
Then when you see him, voice exactly the voice don't match at all. So like no matter, you said what?
He sound like the nigga from J. Cole's skits on his album. You know what I'm talking about?
It's Cole, nigga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I say it's
what I'm saying though, like
I'm gonna say it adds a layer of like dramatic flair to the songs. Like the production is already something. He has a immaculate ear for beats. Some of the best beats selection out of any current rapper I know of, and it adds a more dramatic flair to the already dramatic production with the way he raps and like because he raps with this dramatic essence. Like he's always trying to talk about these grandiose things, and I don't even know how to explain it. Westside Gunn is an enigma, man. It's hard to explain.
It's very over the top, but it's believable at the same time.
Yes. But
and also, I'm gonna say this, and I think what really helps him. You said what?
I was saying he also switched up his flow a good bit on this project. Like the song Euro Step. I ain't never heard Westside Gunn flow that way before. Like he was tap dancing on that
bag.
That was amazing. But let me ask you this: what was y'all favorite feature on this album?
Tyler.
Bodie.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bodie, but I ain't want to go.
Bodie.
Go.
What about you, Delon?
Hey man, he had the best guest feature on Hitler with Hermes too. Just want to throw that out there.
I forgot he was on that album.
Yeah, he was on what song was it? Possible. It's possible.
I would say Benny and Conway, because when those three are together, those three don't miss. Because when we're talking about Westside's voice, his voice is great and all, but his voice, in contrast to the other two's voice, that's where he does it. And because the production on this album was the most fun I've had with production since Ross is Rather You Than Me. And that being said, I would really like to hear a Westside Ross track, because Westside to me feels like the evolution of what I like from Ross. The evolution of everything just does it slightly better in 2020 to me. And hearing those two contrasting voices, Ross's deep ass voice and the Westside sound like a child, that would be hard.
That would be hard. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see. My favorite guest features on this album was probably tied between Joey Badass and Tyler Creator, for the simple fact that my favorite song was probably 327. It's close. But for the simple fact that we very rarely hear from either one of them in terms of rapping. Like, we'll hear from Tyler, but he won't necessarily be rapping. And Joey like appears on a random feature on a random album like once every 6 months, and he hasn't released a solo project since All American Badass, which came out in I think 2016. So he's like on a 4-year hiatus too, but people just don't be the next album.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute since his last solo LP. But despite that, it's nice. It was so refreshing to hear him on the track and hear him rapping, like sounding like Joy Badass that we love. And then Tyler Creator, who usually stick to like singing and stuff, reminded people that, hey, I can rap really well too. Even though
last time I heard Tyler rapping was Potato Salad with A$AP Rocky. That boy was rapping on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't get enough of that. And that's why that probably is my favorite, even though it's probably not the best feature on the album. Because I'm like, wow, I get to hear Tyler rap really well. You know, he's rapping by being, having glitter on his nails and on his face. I'm like, well, this shit's still hard, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Still hard, yeah.
It's still hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was hard, Delon.
No, I agree with you. Man, if we're in the PlayStation chat, I made a lot of jokes right there.
Okay, I'm glad.
We're gonna move on.
This ain't the PlayStation chat, man. We ain't just talking that. But you can tell me about it maybe like after later on. Okay, so I got a topic for you guys. It's for better or worse. So for better or worse, I give you guys a person, and I want y'all to tell me if the following names are better or worse than them. So the topic at hand is Westside Gunn's rap voice. I want y'all to tell me if these other people's rap voices are better or worse than Westside Gunn's. So I'm gonna start with the obvious choice, Chance the Rapper.
He probably worse than Chance. Definitely.
It's better than Chance. It's much better than Chance.
I'm gonna say it's better than Chance, because when Chance gets on those songs where he's singing and it's like he starts cracking, it's really weird.
Please, Lon, do not sing the shit that I think you're gonna sing.
That shit sounds weird.
I know my first time ever listening to Chance was Acid Rap, and his voice was so jarring I had to turn it off. I didn't even finish Acid Rap the first time I heard it. I had to turn it off. It was just too much. His voice was something it was really an acquired taste. Like, it took a long time for me to like just get past how weird he sounded on certain songs. So I would say worse. I say Chance Rapper's voice is worse. Because Westside Gunn's just weird. Chance was just like, I don't know what the hell this is. Okay, let's see. Danny Brown's rap voice, better or worse than Westside Gunn's?
Better.
Worse. Worse.
You just hate Danny Brown, bro.
Hey, boy, don't get me wrong. I'll rock with Danny Brown heavy, but I'm gonna say even to this day, his voice still kind of jarring. It still gotta take me off a little bit.
Yeah, I say it's
worse. I'm telling y'all, man, Westside. I'm trying to see. Nah, I ain't gonna say he got the. who else can I put? I want to say like Westside and JPEG Mafia. To me, they got the most distinct voices out there right now.
JPEG Mafia.
Hey man, he got a distinct voice.
I think there's somebody else. I'm not just thinking about in this exact moment that has a much more unique voice to the point when you hear it, you know it's them. It's not Young Thug because I feel like it's been like.
Oh, I thought I was going to say you about to say Thug.
Nah, it's not Thug. It's been like 10 niggas been copying Thug, and as of late, I've been getting them mixed up with Thug. So Young Thug do not.
They getting close.
They getting very.
Getting close.
You know, Party Next Door songs.
Yes.
Last album.
Yes, I was so sure that Young Thug was on that song. I don't know if it was just Party. He did it on Colors too, and I was like, is this Young Thug? And I was like, nah.
Remember when they were
That was
beefing?
freaking you.
Why were they beefing? Was it because of that? It should have been if it wasn't.
Oh no. Party allegedly was saying that like he was giving Thug some ideas for beautiful Thugger girls. So apparently, okay. Remember when everybody was saying that Drake was executive producing it? A lot of people were saying it was pretty much like him just forcing Party to help Thug make songs.
LOL.
And so Party ended up stealing his flow for like Mad Lucy songs.
And then Party didn't actually get credit for working on Beautiful Color. That makes sense because people were saying like, did Drake actually produce he exactly produced Beautiful Thug Girls? Because people were looking at the credits and they couldn't find Drake's name on it. So that kind of actually adds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Party next though.
One last rap voice, better or worse, is MF Doom's rap voice, better or worse than Westside Gunn's.
I hate
Fritos.
I was about to say that.
That sounds miserable. God damn.
All right, what's up, guys?
Rap.
Man.
And let's be honest, we don't even know if Doom voice is really even his voice. It might be somebody else.
That nigga Doom sound like he is rapping and he's under a blanket and his mic is also under another blanket. It's the most annoying thing.
Oh, shout out to Westside Gunn for releasing this incredible project.
That boy definitely rapping in the bathtub.
with the shower on.
Hey man,
and the curtains pulled back and the door shut. The mic is on the other side of the door.
I'm telling you.
And he whispering.
Doritos. All right. Moving on to
Pop Smoke, Jordan.
Oh,
Pop Smoke's like 50 Cent though.
Yeah, Pop Smoke's rap voice. I think I favor it over Westside Gunn. I think I do. I think I'd much rather listen to Pop Smoke's. But all right, moving on to the next topic. I want to talk to you guys about some underrated players who tend to be forgotten in the lexicon of NBA history. So I want to talk to you guys. So the topic is how soon they forget. And I want you guys to give me a player that I feel like is vastly underrated all time in the history of NBA and a player that usually gets looked over due to this fact.
I'll go first. Young Ray Allen. Hey man.
Oh, that's good.
He was a killer. A lot of people don't really they don't think about his career. They usually start when they think about it, they start at, with the Celtics and then that shot with LeBron. But I don't think he joined the Celtics in the Heat until he was like in his like the 29, 30s. Like he was like late 20s.
He was like 31.
Yeah, he had been in the league for a while, but before then he was a killer. He was a perennial all-star. He was putting a lot of good teams out in the playoffs or in battling teams, the game sevens and whatnot. And he was a killer. So I think that's my pick for how soon they forget.
Well, I'll say this, because that's a good point, because Ray Allen does get talked about a lot in terms of like being one of the greatest shooters of all time, as well as saving LeBron's legacy is like people's favorite way to bring up Ray Allen. But people really talk about his days with the Supersonics when he was actually like beating teams in the playoffs and leading them to Eastern Conference Finals.
Lewis, the original Splash brother.
Yes, sir. And like how they were competing against, like that's a team that AI had to beat in order to get to the finals, and like they pushed that team too. Like them guys were nice. I think he was
getting bust with the Bucks too when he was in Milwaukee. He was killing there as well.
Yeah, and they had like some of the best offenses at the time. Jacque, it's cool you pick Ray Allen. The player I'm going to pick for this topic is actually his fellow Big Three member on the Celtics is Paul Pierce, who gets thrashed on Twitter mostly because he does say stupid shit. But he also people used to hate Paul Pierce before that, mostly because he used to put out everybody's favorite player, whether it was LeBron at the playoffs or the time he beat Kobe in the finals.
Facts.
So he has two of the biggest factions on in NBA Twitter, mad at him. So I understand, but also he says a bunch of dumb shit.
Hey, no.
And Boston fans Boston players just also are innately hated by everybody.
Yeah, they incite a lot of hate themselves. But with that being said, Paul Pierce had a phenomenal career. A lot of people try to put on that, hey, Ray Allen and KG saved his career, when in reality, he went just as far as KG and Ray Allen by himself as they did by themselves. Like, he was just as much of an integral part of that team, if not end up being one of the major contributors. He won Finals MVP and that one title they won. Paul Pierce.
You had to say that.
The most overrated title.
You had to say this, Jordan. You have to say that one title.
There you go, Jacquez.
No, I had to specify. Paul.
Hey,
Pierce,
man, Celtics love that one fucking title.
Paul Pierce is top 15 all time in scoring, but the people don't ever talk about him being a phenomenal scorer. In fact, he's currently in front of Carmelo Anthony, who's lauded as being a generational scorer in himself. Paul Pierce is a great scorer. He's also been one of the most clutch players of that we've seen recently.
What's that efficiency look like?
His efficiency, man, he shoots around 44-45%. Like, he's pretty efficient. Like, he ain't chucking. Like, the nigga be getting buckets. And the thing is, like, I read that it was a playoff run. They ended up winning the title. I believe Paul Pierce was like 14 for 18, and during clutch time, 3 or 4 from 3 during that playoff run in which they won the title. Like, he don't miss. And there was at one point where people thought that he had like a clutch gene. I remember that big 3 he made against the when he was a member of the Nets that beat the Wizards. Then he joined the Wizards. He had like a clutch 3 in a playoff situation against Toronto Raptors. Yeah. Yep. He made big baskets for the Celtics throughout his entire career. Went to go and make big baskets for the other teams he went to, even though he was not the primary scorer. Paul Pierce has had a lot of phenomenal moments throughout his career, and he has been one of the better scorers that we've seen in NBA history. But he's largely forgotten about and talked down because he says stupid shit on Twitter, which is stupid. But I just want y'all to know how soon we forget how great Paul Pierce was. Said by Shaquille O'Neal himself, who named him the truth, because he said, I knew that Paul Pierce was great, but that nigga is even better than that. He is the truth. And that's coming from Shaq, a top 5, top 10 player all time.
Please, whoever goes next, do not.
I got one.
Don't pick another Celtics player.
Shout out to Cam, because I know this Suns Nation, but I'm going to say Amari Stoudemire.
Okay. I was going to say him. I'm glad I didn't pick him. He's
very forgotten in the mixed opinion because he's plagued by injuries and stuff. But, when he first started out, he was very great as a player. Perimeter defender. I mean, not a perimeter defender, but a paint defender.
I think that nigga averaged like 30. Like, I think he averaged like 30 for a playoff run in which the Suns went to the Western Conference Finals one year. Like, that nigga was balling. Like, at one point, like, I don't think there was every point you could have said he was better than Steve Nash, but he was a major contributor to that team's success at one point before, ultimately getting hurt and staying hurt and never being his former self when he went to the Knicks. But, yeah, Stoudemire was an incredible player, and I do feel like we forget that quite often.
Shout out to the Knicks for ruining somebody else's career.
So, if you want to pick Stoudemire, who are you going to pick?
So, the player that I'm going to go with is going to be the Phoenix Suns legend that never played for the Phoenix Suns. George Gervin is my player.
Okay.
And I picked George Gervin because he was actually selected by the Suns in the 3rd round of 1974 draft.
Yeah.
He actually played 2 or 3 seasons in the ABA before he came, and he actually ended up getting drafted by the Suns. And when we drafted him, he said, "No, I'm going to go back to the ABA for a season." Then he went to the Spurs. So, yeah. George Gervin.
Y'all just can't do great.
If I'm not mistaken, let me find the numbers. I believe he's a career 25-point scorer.
Yeah, he was.
Like buckets. Yeah, buckets. He ranks pretty high on the all-time scoring list. But big fan of him, and I just love watching his game. Like when I go watch old highlights, he's so smooth.
He was in the era because that was like the early Spurs, like when the Spurs just like first became a team. So it makes sense why he didn't see a whole lot of like major team success because it was like the origins of the Spurs. But he was a great player in his own right, kind of like Dominique Wilkins with the Atlanta Hawks.
Huge facts.
To put it in perspective, he played 791 games. He only played 791 games in the NBA, and he's still 41st on the scoring list. And LeBron has played 12,000 and he's third. And he's 20,000 points ahead.
Yeah. We get you saying. DeLon and Corey, do either one of you guys have a pick?
I do. So mine, shout out to French Montana. We got Dwight Howard Ghost. Dwight Howard, because man. Let me say that again, because Jordan was bugging out. Yeah. So mine will be Dwight Howard, because that man, 2000, he took the Magic to the finals. Of course, he had Turkoglu and a quote-unquote prime Jameer Nelson. Hey. But that man, that man, Dwight Howard, he was at one point unstoppable. That man, that man was 7 foot, but could like dunk from the free throw line. Like that man was different.
Well, and it's so interesting when people talk about Dwight Howard, especially Shaq, because Shaq always complains a lot of time about how Dwight Howard could be like back in the day, Dwight Howard could have been such a greater player if he took the game more seriously. And then you look at Shaq's career, and it's like, if you had been in shape, y'all could have won like 10 championships.
See, I think it's a thing where he sees a lot of Dwight in himself. Mm-hmm. And it kind of frustrates, kind of like if you see like you got a little brother who might piss you off because you know how good they can be.
Like the one shaking behind you.
I was
yeah, that nigga. And it just kind of pisses you off when they're not taking the serious or doing being as great as they can be, because you see their potential but they don't.
He was called Superman 2.0, so I understand where they're coming from.
I know Shaq hated that shit too. But I'm gonna tell you what, Dylan, to your point, that he took the Orlando Magic to the finals. And I just remember like watching, like I was like, because the game was on recently on TV with the Lakers versus Magic, and I was thinking to myself like, damn, this is crazy. The Magic are in the finals. Niggas,
they won one.
Yeah, and they had sniffed. They have not sniffed any kind of playoff success since he left. Like not even a little bit.
And it's awesome because that team was one of the first teams to do the one big man, 4 shooters out type thing. And
I was saying, and the fact that Dwight Howard was like 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, like also led the league in rebounds multiple years, led the league in blocks multiple years. Like he was a league
force. Screen assist.
Also put
possibly.
Texas Austin and Kevin lost to Dwight Howard at you.
That's true.
We also still with the right side on the floor, kind of effective.
What about you, Corey? Do you have an underrated player all time that you like to shed some light on?
Well, since y'all bringing up, I was gonna say Eric Gordon at first. I'm gonna switch it up. Since y'all bringing up Dwight Howard, I'm gonna bring up another center who I think is severely underrated. Joakim Noah, man, great defender, great passer, team player. You said what?
I want to hear this. I just want to hear it.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna say that Joakim Noah one of them players who's been plagued by injuries, and I feel like a lot of people don't put the respect on the name that he deserves. And I hate this NBA season got canceled because I really want to see him play for the Clippers a little bit.
Well,
I definitely got to put Joakim on that list.
There's a greater chance he'll actually play for the Clippers.
And he was third in MVP voting like 5 years ago.
Was he third or second? I thought he was second.
I think he was third.
I think he was second. Yeah,
it's one of them.
I think he was second in the MVP vote in that year, and that's because Derrick Rose was hurt. And despite that, he was like getting triple doubles and shit. He was getting a bunch of triple doubles and leading the Bulls to a very good record despite Derrick Rose being gone. And I think they went all the way to the second round. They won a playoff series behind him. Like
it was behind him and Nate Robinson. It was the year Nate Robinson was getting that nigga was hooping.
They caught the Brooklyn Nets slipping.
Yep.
Yeah, they got the Brooklyn Nets slipping.
But he's another player that was plagued by a migrated. He's another big man that was plagued by migrated injuries that they ended up going to the Knicks.
Damn, tough.
Just like Stoudemire.
Man, the Knicks. Well, big man,
I got one more thing to say. Another team that's very underrated. I think the 2015 Atlanta Hawks were very overlooked just because they got.
I forgot about Al Horford.
Yeah, people don't take them seriously because they got swept.
But I mean, it's LeBron though. LeBron was like, I think that nigga went like 3 years, like losing like one game in the Eastern playoffs. I want to say.
But it's the fact that you're a 60-win team
and with 4 All-Stars,
and you get swept. Not win one game and lose. You get swept in the Eastern Conference Final. That's bad, man. That's very bad. Then I got to win one
I
game.
gotta take on this though.
What's that?
I gotta take on this.
What's that?
I don't blame the players. I blame their coach. Because that coach that we see that was with them then is coaching a team right now that has amazing regular season. Then when they get to the playoffs and they have so they get punched in the mouth, he tend to fold. Just go throw that out there. I ain't gonna say no names, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know what franchise I'm talking about right now.
Milwaukee.
Don't act like you don't hear me.
Ain't nobody here favorite franchise.
I mean, that's young. You know.
Core, I think
man. I've seen him do more.
I just realized what your shirt said. I think it's very fitting.
Hey! Breaking news. I don't care.
All right. Moving on to the next topic, I want to talk to you guys about the supposed beef between Playboi Carti and I think Lil Uzi. So Playboi Carti released a single that people have been waiting on forever called "At Meh," like meh, like something's meh. And a lot of people thought it was just that meh. Well, Lil Uzi got on Twitter and quoted a tweet and said just meh. So I guess he agreed with the rest of Twitter that it wasn't all that great. Carti then tweeted out that he was going to release on Monday, to which Lil Uzi turned around and said, "I'm gonna release on Monday too." Core, can you shed some light on why there is beef, supposed fake or real beef between Lil Uzi and Playboi Carti?
And I'm gonna say this. At first, I was kind of confused, but me being the person I am, I don't forget nothing. And then this little thought popped into the back of my mind. This ain't the first time this happened to Uzi. Remember when Uzi was real cool with the Migos at one point, doing tracks with him and this, then the third? And then him and Offset just fell out of nowhere, and he ain't worked with them ever since.
I actually didn't know about that, but they actually have not worked together since. But I didn't know they had fallen out. I thought it just just didn't do anything. Yeah.
Cause pretty much they were saying like Lil Uzi, when he get a little bit of success, he tend to switch up on people. He stay around, you see what you're doing, like, oh, that's how you do music. That's your creative process. This, that, and the third. And he take a little bit and go and do his own thing. And I feel like it's the same with Carti. And I think that's why they fell out.
Cause they say Carti's the exact same way. There's been a couple people say that about Carti.
Hey, two snakes can't stay together. But I will miss them working together though. Man. That was a top tier hip hop power couple. I ain't gonna even hold you.
So, Delon, do you think that this is all a marketing ploy? Do you think there's real beef between the two, or do you feel like this is all just overblown?
Nah, that nigga hate that nigga. I don't know why. I have absolutely no clue about this beef. All I'm seeing is Twitter shit and like slick shit that they say. But that nigga Uzi hate Playboi Carti, and it's funny because that nigga Carti just trying to mind his business.
Real sassy on the field.
That nigga Carti, he's like, hey guys, new song. And then Uzi for the next 3 hours is retweeting everything, talking shit about it. And then, hey guys, I think I'm going to drop on Monday. Bet. And, like, that nigga's just antagonistic. I know everyone, I don't know what happened. So I know everyone's like Team Uzi for some reason, but like, outside looking in, that nigga is, yeesh.
It's because I don't remember who it was, but somebody else came out and said that Playboi Carti is kind of mad shifty. It might have been Pierre Bourne. I don't remember who it was. I think it was a producer. Well, they came out and said that Carti, man, I don't know.
He don't pay producers.
Yeah,
he don't pay producers.
Yeah, so a lot of people said they don't like being around him. Like he'd be switching up on them. But yeah, I think it's real. And the fact that like people are like, well, I think it's just a marketing ploy. If it's a marketing ploy, them releasing on the same day doesn't make sense because then one of them is going to lose out and not be the number one album.
Who's going to blow out the water?
Yeah, so like that's not good marketing.
Carti has some stands though. But I don't know about blowing out the water. But.
Well, neither of them are going to be the number one album if they're released on a Monday and the baby's about to sell 150.
So, you're right.
And I'm wondering why Carti did that. I wonder if Carti did that specifically because he wanted to avoid Uzi, and he thought if I release on Monday, Uzi can't release at the same time as me. Because Uzi had threatened, he said, "I'm not gonna release another album until he released another album," which I assume was before Carti. So
it is.
I guess Carti caught the message and said, "All right, I'm gonna release on Monday. Ain't no way Lil Uzi gonna waste time and release on a Monday too." And that nigga said, "Nah, I'm releasing Monday too." So we gotta wait for that. Also, did anybody here like Meh? I don't think anybody did.
I did.
You did?
You
did?
Oh, yeah, I
did.
Cool.
See, my thing is like...
I love the beat.
I mean,
Latia hated the song, but I genuinely cannot find what's different than every other Carti track.
Yeah.
I don't know what the huge difference is. So like the same niggas in whatever group chat they're in, they were like literally the week before, oh my god, can't wait for the next Carti album, niggas a legend, blah blah blah. Who hated that song? I don't know what they're talking. I don't see the difference.
For me, the Carti songs I like more. The songs I like more by Carti, it just happened to be the songs that nigga says more than 3 words.
Like, so that's 5 words.
Yeah. You complete a sentence like I've been down for a really long time, like that song, and the Pissy Pamper.
That's
song.
the longest sentence I ever heard from him.
The Pissy Pamper song, he said they try to be Carti. Like on that song, like I really like that song as well. But like he's saying actual words, but like man, he's literally just making ad libs throughout the entire track, and I'm like, what do you like? He's not doing anything on the song. He just ad libbing throughout the entire track, and that's the difference for me in the Carti songs I like, the ones I don't like. Because on some songs he do the bare minimum and just make noises on the song, and then on other songs he's actually at least saying a sentence. He never repeat the sentence.
The shit that we accept from our rappers. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
That's Corn Goat.
This nigga said
that's John's Goat. That's
really John Goat. I hate talking about Playboi Carti while he's not here, but yeah, that's John's Goat for the show.
Man, shout out to Slat Team Slat Warriors.
All right, I got one more topic before we get to the fan questions, and the last one is the MJ documentary, which comes out tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. The Last Dance is going to cover. It's going to be an all-access documentary on Michael Jordan, which is going to last about 5 weeks. I think each episode might be an hour and a half long. What are you guys expecting to take away from this documentary?
Hey man, they said Jordan was crying. He had to leave out because he was crying during watching it. I was like, bro, it must have been magical watching yourself just busting niggas' asses.
No, that's what I get from it. That's what inspired me to say the how soon they forget topic, because niggas really like forget how great this man was. Like when you watch old games of his, like you just expect every shot to go in. Like you expect him to drop 40 in there and for every shot to go in. And I think this documentary is gonna remind niggas just how he's on a completely different level than anybody that we compare him to, and that's gonna be my biggest takeaway from it.
It's so interesting that they chose Steve Kerr to be the 4th.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like forget Kukoc, forget like other.
I think Kerr's probably gonna be one of the main ones. Like talking. Yeah, that's probably why.
He probably also like one of the more recognizable faces out on that team.
Dennis Rodman's on that team.
Wait,
Dennis Rodman was in there.
Yeah, he was on there.
Dennis Rodman.
It was Rodman, Pippen, Jordan, and Kerr.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson.
And Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Niggas forgot about the GOAT. What's the power forward name?
Grant. Tony.
Horace Grant.
Horace Grant. Tony Cool.
Horace Grant wasn't on that team.
He wasn't on the. I thought he was in for the first championship.
He was on the first. He was on the first big 3. This is
like
what about B.J. Armstrong? What about B.J. Armstrong?
You're just talking about the Bulls.
Forget Luke.
I'm just talking about the Bulls in general. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm sure they're gonna talk about those early titles as well. So that's why he couldn't probably.
They better talk about it. They better talk about everything. Goddamn, it was 5 episodes, an hour and 30 each. God damn.
That's facts. I want the Madonna exclusive. I want to know it all.
Which is what I assume is what we're gonna get. But my expectation from this is we are going to see. Michael Jordan said himself. Michael Jordan said himself that y'all gonna think I'm a bad person after watching the documentary. I don't think anybody really thinks.
I mean, we already think that though.
Yeah, when he said, I'm like, man.
Like niggas hate you already, bro.
I think it's more he was trying to desensitize young people who like, because the internet does take everything like
offensively.
Yeah, offensively.
Wait.
This is more for people who aren't like we're all basketball heads. So
wait, I think I know what it is. He finna come through with mad slurs on this documentary. I already know it. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, he finna talk crazy. They finna show him punching Steve Kerr in the face and everything. I'm ready for it. He finna punch him in the face.
Can you imagine the arguments him and Dennis Rodman had in '96? I mean '98.
Yeah, you know, he probably talking hella spicy to Phil Jackson. God made you.
And I think what's so interesting is that like Not like I think it's gonna be a good remembrance to remember people, like to help people remember. Oh yeah, like this nigga was that good. But also, it's gonna help people remember like what it takes to be that good too.
That's a good point.
Like people think that like it's easy, like because he was really good, but he was like it took a lot to take him and the group of guys he had to be the greatest team of all time.
Yeah, consistently win at that rate. And it probably would be a nice reminder about the guys they went up against. Because a lot of people like trying to undermine the teams he faced.
Oh, he went against plumbers.
It probably a nice reminder how good those guys actually were.
Yeah, I was watching Kobe's documentary, and he was talking about how to your point, Cam, how he was talking about it's hard to win, like, and then trying to get other people to have the same mentality and killer instinct that you got, and imprint yourself onto a team when you're the best player.
Exactly,
it's a hard thing to do.
MJ imprinted his fist on them if they did.
Hey, exactly. That's what you're saying. That's what Kobe said. He was in there. They showed clips of him talking hella shit to his teammates and all kinds of shit. Them niggas really hated his ass, but they wanted to win more than they hated him.
But the thing is, I think.
Go ahead.
I'll say I think Kobe did that because he knew acting this way is going to get the best out of my teammates, and because off the court, it sounded like everybody generally loved Kobe. And he seemed like a very beloved person, and people just loved who he was. They just knew he was a fierce competitor.
Kobe was acting. MJ was really being himself.
Yeah, I think MJ really was an ass, and I think that's what we're going to find out. Like, I think they're going to realize that even when he was off the court, he was acting crazy off the court.
It was.
He just was.
It was like he changed.
But I think
Republicans buy shoes too. Republicans buy shoes too.
Bro, the only rapper I'd ever seen MJ embrace is Macklemore, and that speaks volumes.
I know you lying, Cord.
You lying, Cord.
I'm just saying, man.
Please say something.
Just saying.
And Monday when we wake up, we're gonna see hashtag cancel MJ. We're gonna see hashtag stop bullying.
Oh man,
that nigga was a bully.
We're gonna get footage of Jordan and Charles Barkley hanging out with San Antonio women.
Facts.
We'll find out why Charles Barkley really hate him.
WWE exposure art.
Sorry.
I didn't play the sound effect.
I think it was just all a ploy.
I didn't have the sound effect.
I think it was just all a ploy. Like he just did all that just to get inside Charles Barkley. Oh, that's the homie Jordan. That's my dude. I think he secretly hated that nigga.
Nah, I had
on some Dio and young Joseph type shit.
Facts.
I see that.
Go.
But all right, we got it's time for fan questions. We got 3 today. The first question is from @DevBino on Twitter. Is Canada running music right now?
What?
What?
Okay.
Listen. Did the Weeknd not have one of the biggest? Did the Weeknd not have one of the biggest releases this year?
Sure.
Now that's pop.
And one person.
That's pop. Now is Drake not the biggest rap star?
Okay, I see you going.
and then we talk about Tory Lanez with the quarantine radio that everybody's been tuning into.
Quarantine.
Party Next Door,
which.
Y'all pushing it. Y'all pushing it now.
Listen. No, I'm not talking about quality.
Okay,
but the last couple months, the higher profile releases.
Okay, I got you.
Canadian artists. You know?
Yeah.
No, the answer's no. The answer's no.
Look at man.
But I can say yes.
Delon, you should sell used cars.
I should, man. I should.
You're very.
All I'm saying is this: they prime minister out here doing blackface, and ain't none of them spoke up on it. Can't respect them.
That's why they doing so well.
Prime minister giving
That's
everybody.
why they doing so.
Their prime minister giving everybody like $2,000 in 2 weeks. So.
Hey, that man pulled up with 5 different blackface pictures. I never repped that country. Y'all know what time it is. America. They got 2 mega artists. We got 50. Y'all know what time it is.
Hold on, cool. Who the 50?
We got a lot of mega artists.
We got 50.
I ain't about to count.
Drake and The Weeknd legit the only 4 mega stars.
You want him to list his stars? Do you want Cord to list his stars? This would be a wild ass list.
I'd rather not.
Go ahead.
Bro, we talking about superstars in music. The majority don't come from America.
This year.
You say bad, baby. I'll put my foot in your
ass.
Oh,
this year.
Yeah, you going? Yeah.
Hey man. Yep. Beyonce chilling right now. Whole chiller right now.
Wait.
They coming out soon. The quarantine over. America taking over.
What about
they just got it right now though?
Grimes is Canadian.
Ah! Wait. Hey man. Hey. You ain't do this, Delon. You know you ain't do this to me.
You ain't gotta come back.
Man.
All right. The next question is.
Down. I can't look at y'all right now.
Damn.
The next question is from C Kit the Third. He asked, "What are your favorite 3 tracks from Play from Paris? And is the best Griselda project to date? Is this the best Griselda project?
You can just assume we like that album.
Hey man,
we just talked about it for like 30 minutes.
You already knew what time it was.
So yeah, I got 327. I got Allah Sent Me, and I got Sean versus Versace. Versace and Sean versus Flair.
Mine's is probably Eurostep 327 and Lay. I don't know how in the world you say that last word. I don't know how you say it. I do not know how you say that last word.
Cultured ass niggas.
But you say
Never
it.
mind, I don't know.
I ain't think so, nigga.
Juleba.
I don't speak French.
Wop got my picks.
Yeah, Wop got my picks too. Well, Sean versus Flair, one of my favorite songs too.
I like 500 ounces a lot.
Oh shit, I forgot about that Freddie verse.
Yeah, that Freddie verse is ridiculous. And West Side Gun put like a very good verse at the end with arguably Rock having the better verse between the 3 of them. Like that was just a great all around song. He also asked, "Is this the best Griselda project to date?" Man, to me, it's the best West Side Gun album.
Man, y'all know my goat.
I know. I would not put over Tana Talk 3.
I don't know, man.
Hey,
you know what? Give me a week,
man.
Give me a week.
It's close, man.
Give me 7 more days. I'm gonna come back to you with that.
This is definitely one of the most fun. This is the most fun I've had listening to a non-Benny album from Griselda by far. I put it right up there with Tana Talk 3 and with the plugs I met. Now, if it's the de facto best, that's a hard question. That's a very hard question. I don't have the answer right now. Like we could maybe come back to this. Maybe
that nigga Benny makes me feel like I'm selling drugs.
Give me a week.
That nigga makes me feel like I'm there. Like, goddamn.
On your way to your 9 to 5, Delon?
Man, on my way in my 9 to 5. In my 9 to 5.
Nigga Benny be rapping about cooking crack in the kitchen
with my button up on,
washing dishes. And it feel like I'm there too. But
you definitely got you looking at your pots a little differently. That's facts.
Last question of the evening is from @KingStewart94. Who has a better ear for production, Rick Ross or West Side Gun?
Ooh.
Didn't even know that question was coming.
I gotta go Ross, man. I gotta go Ross.
Ross got more sample size, larger sample size, though. That's what I'm saying.
Santorini.
Yeah, exactly.
Production I ever heard, man.
We just seen Ross switch it up a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know if Ross has a larger sample size. This nigga West Side Gun has put out like 5 million albums in 5 years.
Oh, he does. He has.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will say that a lot of West Sides, well, except for this one, I guess, they come from a very concentrated place. They come from like 2 or 3 people per album. Ross has to get his from the field. Well, he doesn't have to, but he does it. So I'll probably say Ross. But this album, you know, woo.
I'm gonna say this.
Up there.
The beats he picked on this album are better than the beats that I think Ross picked on the last 2 albums. 3 albums.
All right, rather you and me, I think it was number 3. So
hey man,
all in favor of saying 2 like that every time he said.
Did you not remember the beat from Santorini?
Yeah, I just said. I said that's the most beautiful beat I ever heard.
Hold on, wait. Let me pull up that checklist because the first 4 songs on that album had beautiful production.
Apple of My Eye, Rivals versus Idols. Idols become Rivals.
I'm telling you.
It was Apple of My Eye, Santorini, Grease, Idols Become Rivals, and Dead Presidents. And then he followed up with She on My Dick featuring Gucci, and that's where it stopped. That's exactly where it stopped. But yeah, beautiful.
Hey, we ain't gonna talk about this song though. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Awful.
Hey, no, that's all.
Wasn't that the single from that album?
It was one of them, and then is that the same out with Trap?
Yeah, Trap. I'm saying that album is not a masterpiece from back to end production wise. It's not. That's why I said it. That's why I said 2 or 3. It could be. You could argue that overall.
Hey man,
Westside had better beats than Ross on Head album. Even though Ross might have had the best beat, so beats him towards the end. they aren't as great as Century Degrees, so you have to.
Thematically, he went from the mansions and he took a little drive out to the trenches. That's all. You know, he had to get
trap.
Shout out to Trap though.
I forget She on My Dick is even on that album. Like it ran, like it'll come on my like random, like might have it like randomized. And, like I'm like,
he used to be like, oh,
I'm like, bro,
it's
like
followed.
I'm like, where Rick Ross albums is from?
That's after. That's a song that's after Trap, and it's just a very awful 8 minutes of that album. Golly. Trap.
Was Wale on Trap?
Yes, he was. Why the fuck was Wale on that song?
I don't know why. Ross literally has trappers on his label, but he always gets Wale to come on those songs, and I don't understand. He has like more poetic songs. Like why
gotta be doing it on purpose.
And I think that was the same year as Album About Nothing. No, it was not. It was like right after Album About Nothing. So I was like, that's such contrast. Like, why would you do that?
It makes me think about you know, like what was the first song on his latest album, Rick Ross' latest album? It sounded like a very
Port of Miami 2.
Yeah, Port of Miami 2. What was the first song of Port of Miami 2? He had Wale on that song, and it was like a trap song or a trap beat production. And I'm like, why is Wale?
Wale trying to switch it up.
He could have got Stanley for this at the very least. Like, why is Wale on this song?
Because Meek Mill took the inspirational lane, so now Wale has to fill that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I said get Stanley, man. Get somebody else. Rock Fresh. I think
Gunplay.
like get one of them other niggas. Like there's like other like smooth, like beautiful songs that Wale could have been on. He said, nah, I need you on this trap beat. Come on. He's sending a nigga for sabotage, man. Ross, that nigga really is a stepchild to MMG.
Ross, why me? I'm trying to diversify your portfolio, Wale.
All right, guys, that's all I have. You guys have any closing thoughts before we call it quits?
We will be. We're gonna make a video of us watching The Last Dance tomorrow. Or
I don't know exactly what we're gonna do about The Last Dance. We're still deciding. We might just end up just watching it rather than recording or anything. I think we'll just watch it together. So, any other closing thoughts? All right.
I keep that 40 on me like on Zoom.
All right, boys, we get it. You're a Drake fan. All right. That's all we have. Thank you for tuning into the other episode of Popular Demand Podcast. See you next week for the episode of your favorite podcast.
Right.